Now we will do directive planning and the comprehensive planning. Before the understanding of directive and comprehensive planning, let's see what is the meaning of planning objectives and plan objectives. Planning objectives, these are long-term objectives, and plan objectives are short-term objectives or short-term goals. Planning objectives are long-term objectives that are to be achieved over a long period of time, covering many 5-year plans, and it can be for 20 years. And plan objectives that are short-term goals that are to be achieved in the 5 years. Planning objectives, they are called the perspective plans, whereas the plan objectives that are known as 5-year plans. Planning objectives are the general goals and the plan objectives are the specific goals. Now, directive planning. Directive planning focus on the forces of demand and supply so that economy must stay in equilibrium. In such type of plannings, there is no direct participation of the state or government, you can say, in the process of growth and development. And under directive planning, planning directions are present for the private sector. That what can they do and what cannot. Means here the government focus on the do's and don'ts for the private sector. Why is it so? That the profit can be maximized without sacrificing the national interest. Means directions are present for the private sector for do's and don'ts so that the national interest does not suffer while individual gains are allowed to be maximized. And the directive planning that is pursued in the capitalistic type of economies. Now see the comprehensive planning. Comprehensive planning is a system under which the government itself participate in the process of growth and development. And comprehensive planning that is pursued in the socialist and mixed economies. It means here is the coexistence of private and the public sectors, and there both the profit maximization and national interest is present. So social welfare is also focused here. Now we will see the types of the economies that are prevailed in the different countries. Generally, 3 economic systems are present in all over the world, that are capitalistic economy, socialist economy and mixed economy. We will discuss the 3 one by one along with the merits and demerits. First is the capitalist economy. Capitalist economy, here means of productions are owned by the individuals, and individuals are free to take economic decisions. They can decide whatever they want and they can produce whatever they want. And under the capitalist economy, economic decisions are guided by the principle of profit maximization. Means here the individuals work for self-interest and profit maximization. See the features. Features of capitalist economy includes the private ownership of means of productions. It means individuals or the private person, they owns the means of production. And here the goal of the business enterprises or the individuals are profit maximization. They work for themselves. And the role of government, that is only confined to the maintenance of law and order and the defense of the country. For merits, first is the efficient allocation of the resources. Resources are fully utilized to gain the maximum profit. That is why efficient allocation of resources is present here. Second is efficient production. Means of productions are properly used to minimize the cost of production. And next is the dynamic efficiency. Here, economic decisions are taken by the individuals. They can change the decisions time to time according to the opportunities to get the maximum level of profit. Profits are maximized. Due to that, the GDP is also increased or accelerated. Here, it promotes the self-interest, and this is the principal object of the individuals in these kind of economies. And for the demerits, first is ignores the collective interest of society. This is the principal demerit of this system, that it ignores the collective interest of the society. Only those goods are produced which yield the high profit. Okay? And the third is poor people, they suffer from deprivation. Why? Because only the goods are produced to satisfy the needs of rich people. And the poor people, they suffer from the lack of the production of the goods which are affordable. And there is the growth without the social justice. Social welfare is almost absent here because the individuals work for the self-interest. Next is the socialist economy. Socialist economy is that kind of economy where public and the collective ownership of means of production. And here economic decisions are taken by the central authority of the government. And here the objective is to maximize the social welfare. See the features. First is collective ownership of means of production. And the social welfare is maximized under the socialist economy. Third is the direct participation of the government in the process of production, because these kind of economies are controlled economies. And the role of government is not merely to maintain the law and order as it is in the capitalist economy, but under socialist economy, here there is the direct participation of the government in the process of production. See the merits. First is equality in the distribution of income. Here the goods are produced for rich and poor and at the affordable prices. That is why there is always the presence of equality of distribution of income. Here the concentration of economic power in few hands is absent. And second is the social welfare. As we know that here is the direct participation of the government and in the process of the production. And the role of government here is to achieve the social welfare. Here the absence of the competition, because government has to take all the decisions. And absence of consumer preference is also here, because it is present only in the capitalist economy, not in the socialist economy. Here goods are produced according to the national interest. And these economies are most suitable for the developing countries. Now see the demerits. First is slow growth of GDP. The principal demerit is that the growth remains a slow process. This is because the production is not directed by the principle of profit maximization, and that is the reason that people lose the initiative to the work. And here the consumer preference is also not given, because here is the presence of national interest. And these kind of economies are controlled. That is why rigid economy, that is in socialist economies. China that had to switch over the market economy or the capitalist economy right? They initially adopt the socialist economy just because of the rigid type of economy, and the demerits they switched over to the capitalist economy. Now see the mixed economy. Mixed economy, here the private as well as the public ownership of means of production are present. Means it combines the elements of capitalism and socialism. Both kind of economies are present here. That is why it is known as a mixed economy. This is mixture of capitalist and socialist economy. Here, the economic freedom in the use of capital, but also allows for the government to interfere in the economic activities in order to achieve the social aim or social welfare. For the feature, first is means of production are owned by the private entrepreneurs as well as the government. And the profit maximization and social welfare go side by side. Both the sectors are important, public and the private. See the merits. First is the principal merit of a mixed economy is that it combines the merits of capitalist as well as the socialist economy. As we know that it is the mixture of capitalist and social economy, it means the merits of the both economies are present here. And next is the GDP growth is encouraged along with the profit maximization and social welfare or social justice. Now see the demerits. Under demerits, government sector is often inflicted with the corruption, leading to the low level of productivity. Due to this, the mixed economies are gradually opting for the privatization of the public enterprises. And we can see in India. India is adopting the mixed economy. And under mixed economy, there is the condition for the government to opt for the privatization of the public enterprises because of the low productivity and the lack of interest of the government, because it is generating less profit and the cost or the expenses to run these organizations is more.